Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Seekers of the unsettling and documented strange, we have come with another case from the depths of the Conjuring Files archives, a story that plummets into the abyss where fervent belief curdles into deadly delusion. Tonight's file forces us to confront a terrifying reality. Sometimes the most monstrous acts are committed not in the name of evil, but under the horrifying conviction of fighting it. We delve into the tragic case of Blair Milam, a man executed in Texas for the unspeakable torture and murder of his girlfriend's 13-month-old daughter, Amora Carson. His defense? Not malice, not rage, but a desperate, brutal exorcism to save the child from a demon he believed possessed her tiny body. This is Conjuring Files, File 4, The Devil in the Cradle, The Exorcism of Amora Carson. Our investigation takes us to Rusk County, East Texas, in December 2008. Blair Milam, then 18 years old, was in a relationship with Jessica Carson, also 18. Jessica was the mother of Amora, a baby girl just over a year old. They lived a seemingly unremarkable life in rural Texas, but beneath the surface, a volatile mix of youth, perhaps instability, and according to Milam's later claims, a growing conviction of supernatural interference was brewing. Amora was, by all accounts, a typical toddler. Yet in the eyes of Blair Milam, something profoundly wrong began to manifest. He would later tell investigators that he came to believe the innocent child was possessed by demonic forces, that her behavior, her very essence, was being controlled by an entity that needed to be expelled through force. This conviction wasn't born from ancient texts or consultation with clergy. It appeared to be a terrifying delusion taking root in Milam's own mind, one that would soon erupt into unimaginable violence directed at the most vulnerable victim imaginable. The events that transpired over a period spanning approximately 30 horrifying hours in early December 2008 are difficult to recount. According to court records and testimonies, Blair Milam, with Jessica Carson present for at least part of the time, subjected Amora to systematic and brutal torture. Driven by his belief that he was performing an exorcism, Milam used multiple objects, including a hammer, to inflict devastating injuries upon the child. Investigators detailed a scene of almost unbelievable cruelty. Amora was bitten numerous times across her body. Bite marks later matched to Milam. She suffered catastrophic blunt force trauma, resulting in multiple skull fractures so severe they were likened to injuries sustained in a major car crash. Her arms, legs, and ribs were broken. Internal injuries were extensive. Milam reportedly attempted to insert objects into the child's body as part of his twisted ritual. Throughout this prolonged ordeal, Milam maintained he was battling a demon residing within Amora, trying to force it out. The sheer brutality, however, painted a picture not of spiritual warfare but of uncontrollable rage and violence inflicted upon a defenseless baby. Jessica Carson's role remained somewhat ambiguous initially. She was present, and questions lingered about her participation or failure to intervene, but Milam was clearly the primary aggressor. The discovery was made when Milam and Carson called 911 on December 2, 2008, reporting that Amora was unresponsive. Paramedics and law enforcement arrived to a gruesome scene. Amora was deceased, her small body bearing the horrific evidence of the prolonged assault. Milam and Carson were immediately taken into custody. The subsequent autopsy detailed the staggering extent of Amora's injuries: over 20 bite marks, multiple fractures to nearly every major bone structure, severe head trauma, and internal damage. The forensic pathologist testified that it was impossible to pinpoint a single cause of death because the sheer number and severity of the injuries were collectively fatal. Milam initially offered inconsistent stories but eventually confessed to the prolonged assault, framing it within the context of his exorcism belief. He reportedly told investigators that God was tired of her lying and that the demon needed to be driven out. He claimed Amora's eyes had turned black, a sign, in his mind, of the demonic presence he was fighting. He admitted to striking her repeatedly, biting her, and performing other violent acts as part of this supposed ritual. Jessica Carson also provided statements initially seeming to corroborate parts of Milam's possession narrative, perhaps out of fear or confusion, but later testifying against him. Her statements painted a picture of Milam's escalating paranoia and violence, culminating in the fatal assault on her daughter. The exorcism claim became the central, horrifying pillar of the case. Unlike the Arne Johnson case, where the defense attempted a formal, not guilty by reason of possession plea based on prior documented events, Milam's claim appeared to be a post hoc justification rooted in potential delusion. There was no history of seeking religious help, no external validation of possession, only Milam's assertion that he saw a demon in a baby and felt compelled to violently expel it. The prosecution, led by Rusk County District Attorney Michael Jimerson, vehemently rejected the exorcism narrative as a fabrication to mask extreme child abuse and murder. Jimerson argued that the sheer savagery and duration of the attack, the use of weapons like a hammer, and the multitude of injuries pointed not to a misguided spiritual act, but to intentional malicious murder fueled by rage or some other dark impulse, using the exorcism claim as a convenient, if bizarre, excuse. The trial focused on the stark contrast between Milam's claims and the physical evidence. While the defense might have explored avenues related to Milam's mental state at the time, the overwhelming brutality made it difficult to argue anything other than intentional harm. The bite mark evidence definitively linked Milam to many of the injuries. Jessica Carson's testimony, detailing Milam's actions, was crucial. The court heard the horrific details of Amora's final hours, the sounds of the assault, and Milam's alleged statements about fighting a demon. The jury was faced with translating Milam's claimed motive, however delusional, into legal culpability. In 2010, the Rusk County jury found Blair Milam guilty of capital murder. Given the nature of the crime and the age of the victim, the sentencing phase moved towards the death penalty. Milam was subsequently sentenced to death by lethal injection. Blair Milam spent nearly a decade on death row. His appeals largely centered on procedural issues and ineffective counsel arguments, rather than significantly relitigating the exorcism claim as a valid defense against the finding of guilt itself, though his mental state remained a background factor. On September 19, 2019, Blair Milam was executed by the state of Texas. He made no final statement concerning Amora, the exorcism, or expressing remorse for his actions. The case of Blair Milam and Amora Carson remains a deeply disturbing file. It forces us to consider the terrifying point where religious belief, or perhaps profound mental disturbance mimicking religious conviction, becomes a justification for horrific violence. Unlike cases involving external paranormal claims investigated by experts, this appears tragically rooted in one individual's deadly delusion. It serves as a grim reminder that the belief in demons can be dangerous, not necessarily because demons are real, but because the human mind, convinced of their presence, can become capable of monstrous acts against the innocent, twisting faith into a tool for unimaginable cruelty. The file on Amora Carson is closed, but the horror of her death under the guise of salvation is a chilling testament to the darkness that can reside within the human psyche. Thank you for exploring this difficult case with us at Conjuring Files. We strive to present these documented events with respect for the victims, while examining the claims and context surrounding them. If you found this investigation informative and wish to support our channel's exploration of these dark and complex real incidents, please subscribe, give this video a like, and share it with others who are interested in true crime and the unexplained. Don't forget to hit the bell icon, so you're notified immediately when we open the next file. Stay happy and informed. God bless you all.